Hello there, it's Jay here from Jay's Vintage Junk, and I've just been down in my cellar. I'm trying to clear the cellar out at the moment and just get rid of some rubbish. And I found these buried in a corner of the cellar. And actually, I'm in the need for a case for a computer I'm just building up at the moment. And I was wondering whether one of these would do. I think actually they're a bit too far gone for that. But what I thought we'd do in this video is actually have a bit of a look at these and see what we've actually got here. From the best part of my knowledge, these must have been down in the cellar for over 15 years, I'd say that. They're probably back from when I actually used to, deal in computers, which I stopped doing stopped doing that when I left university. When was that? About 2006, I think I finally left university. So possibly from around about then, or even slightly before then. I'm not even sure what we've got here. All I can say from just initial looks, this is a Time, which was a budget brand over here in the UK. It's badged on the Omega Time. I'm not 100% sure date-wise what this will be. Obviously we've got an ATX system, integrated graphics and sound. We've got USB on it, but I'll probably be USB 1, I'd expect. We've got rather a lot of corrosion, as you can see here. Like I said, these were thrown down in the cellar when they were basically just parts machines of no real use or interest to anyone. They were obsolete. I can't say I was really massively into vintage computers or anything back then. So I think they were just stuck down there because there was nowhere else to put them, and I thought they might come in useful one day, and they basically just got forgotten about. So that's the first one. We've got it's probably a very, very, very late 90s ATX system. And then what I think might be a little bit more, possibly more interesting anyway, although I'm not sure. They've already been robbed of parts. The drives have gone out of them. I think both of them do actually have a motherboard in them, though. I think this is the nicer of the. I'll take you down a bit so you can see a bit better. I think this is a bit of the nicer thing that I found, actually. This desktop case. This is AT. It's quite a nice form factor, and actually it's in reasonable condition, considering it's been down in the cellar for all that amount of time. We do have a little bit of surface rust on the back, but not a huge amount. This would all clean off reasonably easily. A little bit worse down there, but again, that would clean off reasonable. It's obviously been parts pillaged. I can see from the back here, I can actually see it in there, some PCI slots. So I'm guessing it's, Pentium. I'm not sure. Like I say, it's AT, so it's going to be Pentium 1, I'm guessing. Shall we? We'll see. We've got this one on the bench first. Let's open this up and let's have a look, see what we've actually got in here. See whether it's actually anything worth keeping, worth looking at. Dear me, these screws have been in there a long time. I'm curious to see what this actually is, to be fair. Ooh, dear me, that was tight. Right, let's see what we've got. Oh! Oh! Well, this is rather nice. We've got it seems to be missing its heatsink, but we've got an AMD K5 there, PR133, so 133 megahertz. Let me get you over a bit so you can actually see this a bit better. Apologies for the ghetto camera work here, but I'm sure you'll appreciate seeing the. There we go. So yeah, It seems to have been fairly well pillaged over, which is what I was thinking, but we've got, what makes the motherboard? Oh, it's an Asus motherboard. It's a P5A/B. It's got an ALI chipset on it. We've got everything on board, so you've got 2 IDE, floppy disk. We've got DIMM sockets for the RAM. There's no SIM sockets on this one, but we do have both AT and ATX power inputs there. I think the hard drive's been pillaged out of this, but I've just spotted. Excellent, because one thing I was after actually was a floppy disk. That was one of the reasons I went down into the cellar and I couldn't find one. All my other ones are buried in the attic and they're going to be a nightmare to get to at the moment. But yeah, we seem to have a floppy drive there we might be able to use, and it looks, hopefully, is that the right cage for this? It doesn't look like it is. Oh, that's a shame. So it looks like this case is missing the actual the bracket that holds the floppy drive in place. Well, that's a real shame. Because there should be like a cradle in there, which would bolt on there and there, which would hold the two. Because it has got space for two 3.5-inch floppies or whatever at the front there. That unfortunately isn't the frame for this. It doesn't have the little tabs to hold it in place. Oh, that's it. Seems like one of the blanks for the front. If he was only having one, well, that might be off a different case. I don't know. Oh no, that does fit. That fits in quite nicely actually. We've got 2 of the blanks for it. Is there a hard drive? Oh, I've even found the. There's the. CPU cooler. So we've got the CPU cooler for it. Yes, look, back in place. So that's apart from the fact it's no RAM, the motherboard looks fairly complete. It's a real shame that's missing though. I'm going to extract this disk drive because I may be able to use this for what I'm doing anyway. So I'll pop this disk drive out of this frame. Well, so actually it's a shame that that's missing. And with no RAM, so there's no point actually trying to see if this thing will power up right now. But actually the motherboard looks in, actually really, that's a Hewlett Packard. That's come out of something different. I did used to tend, when I was in the, doing all computers, I used to buy job lots of things like floppy drives and stuff, and that might be one that come in a job lot. That's actually for a HP, but I mean it's a standard interface and everything, so it will work on them. Actually it looks really configurable. I'll have to take a look at this drive because with that bank of jumper settings there, that looks incredibly configurable. I'll stick that to one side for future looking at. But yeah, that is a real shame that we don't have the cradle for there. Although it wouldn't be else would it be impossible to make something. I won't go any further with this one at the moment, but I think in a future video I might actually go through some of the, because I do have a load of like 486 and early Pentium motherboards like this, not from actual branded systems, but from like proper generic boards from back in the day when people used to build their own systems. I mean, this doesn't look like a commercial build. I think this was might have even been one that I'd put together at some point. I've been doing it for so long. At one point, I was taking systems that I'd sold originally back in as trade-ins when people wanted to upgrade. So this may be something like that, and that's why it's ended up just being dumped somewhere. But I think we will we'll do a future video on seeing if we can get that that main board in there to do something. I don't think I've actually got something like a K5 in the collection. I've got the CPUs themselves, but I don't actually think I've got a K5 system actually built up. Let's have a look at this other one anyway. This, like I said, this is a branded system. These were quite a budget system in the UK. But we've got a time PC here. So this has got a lot of corrosion. I mean, it might be clean upable, but that's pretty bad down there. Let's crack into this and see what's inside this one. At least the screw seems a little bit easier to get out than on the other one. That possibly is repairable down there. Let us see what we find on the inside. Apart from the fact I can't get the case off. Dear me. There we go. Ooh, ow. There we go. Ah. Let's just have a look inside what we've got in here. Right, well, we've got I'm not actually sure what we've got in here. Got some very mouldy wiring. This will all clean up though. I'm not going to be short of IDE cables. Dear me. Got a pile of IDE cables. Oh, this looks rather interesting. This looks a bit more interesting than I was thinking as well. Got a CIFS chipset motherboard here. Ooh. Well, this motherboard actually looks quite interesting. I wonder what it is. Let's see if we can extract it from this, from what's left of this computer. This might actually be a better board for what I was planning to do than what I was planning to use actually. Let's just see what we've got. Power supply out of the way. Again, it's missing all its RAM, but what have we got down here? Well, we've got a socket. It's a socket 7 at processor again. Let's see if we can get the cooler off and see what we've got down here. Oh! We've got a Cyrix. This is a... It's a Cyrix M2333, so 333 megahertz Cyrix processor. This might be a rather nice board to play with actually. Let's get the board out of the actual case. This case is in a shocking state. I don't know, I'll have to see if I can do anything with it. Let's get the main board out and we can have a quick look at it on the bench. I might even have some RAM we could fire this up with, I'm not sure though. bottom of that case is so bad that if I do want to do anything with it, I think I might actually have to sandblast it, which would be an easy way of getting all the stuff off it actually. Right, now let's have a look, see if we can get this this main board out. Oh, I missed a screw. There we go. Disconnect all the right. Let's lift it out of the way. And yeah, we've got a it's a CIS chipset. It's very dirty as well. This must have been run for a fair bit of time with the amount of dust that's coming off that. What's the make of the motherboard? I cannot actually see a make on there. I've got a part number, it's a GMB P57 SAX. Well, that's all I can see on there. I can't actually see, you know, like Intel or Asus or anyone, you know, a major manufacturer. So I wonder if these were something cheap being spun up just for time. But we've got, like I said, we've got a CIS 5598 chipset, so I'll have to look that up, see if that's any good, because I know that some people rave about some of the chipsets, some of them they say are absolutely no use whatsoever. Tell you what I'll do. Actually, let's. I mean that heatsink grease, that thermal paste is all dried up, but it'll do for a quick power on test, I should think, providing I put the heatsink back on there. And what I think I'll do, I'll rummage in my RAM pile now, and we'll see if this thing will actually do anything, whether it might actually still work or not. I'm just curious actually. It doesn't look in terrible condition, and it could be a really handy, useful little board to have around actually. So I'll just pause the video and I'll have a quick look in my RAM stocks and see if I've got anything we could actually possibly try on this. So back in a sec. Okay, well, I've found a stick of RAM that should, well, it fits, but I don't actually know whether it works or not, to be fair. It's a Kingston module, 128 megabytes, so we can try that. I've also dug out a known good ATX power supply, because I don't fancy trying testing it with that one that spent all that time in the cellar. I know this power supply works. So we will try that and get this connected up. Which one of them modules should that go in? That one, I think. That's power in. Put that RAM module in there, see if that'll do anything. I've got some video, just connect some video up. Okay. Right, what else do we need? Could connect a keyboard, I suppose, just to see if we do get in there and can get into the BIOS. Almost certain that that button battery on the main board will be totally flat now, but plug that in, plug the power in. That didn't sound very that didn't sound very good, did it? It's alright. Okay, and we need to let's connect the fan up to some power. Just we're not going to be running it long enough for it to overheat, but even so, just connect that up like that. And power button is, there we go. Well, that seems to have powered up. I've got it connected up to a monitor up here, but the monitor does not seem to be wanting to respond at all. Let's turn that back off again. Let me just quickly try the RAM in the other socket. But at least it shows it's not completely dead. Let's give that another quick try. Again, no, like I said, it's powering up, but I'm not getting anything indicating that the monitor is trying to even switch on. Just quickly see if I've got any more of that RAM close. Is that going to work? I really do need to sort all my RAM out, to be fair, and actually test it and categorise it. I haven't got a clue what size this one is, but it does appear to be the correct type of RAM. Give that a quick try. It could be that this is the reason that this was actually thrown down into the scrap pile, is that it had a dead mainboard or a dead processor or something like that. I mean, like I said, generally speaking, the cellar was where computers went to die that might still just have a few useful bits on them, and I did have a massive clear out about probably 10 years ago and got rid of most of the old computer stuff that I actually had. How these got missed, actually, I'm not sure, but no, we're not having any activity up there at all, unfortunately. This, like I said, this wasn't going to be a repair video or anything. I just thought, seeing I just found the two things, I'd do a quick video and see what we actually had. Like I say, I weren't actually sure what we had here. I mean, if I had a VJ card kicking about, I'd even have a go with the other one, but unfortunately I don't think I've got one lying around at the moment. So so I'm going to leave it there for now. Like I said, it was just a quick little video to have a look at these things. If anyone's interested and actually wants to see me do anything else with these two main boards, so we've got this SIS chipset, Cyrix M2 333 MHz ATX board. It's an early ATX board. Get that off there. It's an early ATX board, but up to now we haven't had any functionality out of it. But like I said, we've not done a lot of testing or anything. And then we've got that Asus board with an AMD K5 on it, 133 MHz AMD K5 on it, and that's in the AT factor. So they're two nice, interesting retro boards, if nothing else. Even if these cases, we can't do anything with them cases at all. These are too worthy to just be dumped down in the cellar, so they are going to come out, and I'll find some anti-static bags for them, and they can go up into my motherboard storage above my workbench here until I actually have some time to look at them properly and do something with them. Anyway, I'm going to leave it there for now. Hope you enjoyed this little messy about video. So thanks for watching, and goodbye.